Welcome to the Nomad Network, your first stop for complete and comprehensive Chicago Bears football coverage. Dive deep into analyses, updates, and all things Bears. Subscribe to our YouTube channel today and never miss a beat. Thank you in advance for your support. We promise to bring you the best because together we're unstoppable. Go Bears.
Yo, no maniacs. Welcome into another edition of Feed the Bears, where I do my job to feed you, the Bears, the best coverage and content that we can possibly give you. And today is it's a pretty good day. I feel real good going into this show today. And actually, during the whole, in-game live broadcast that we did yesterday, the post game, the more and more I thought about it, this is just live after the action. I was thinking I had, pictures in my head of what I saw, flashes of this, flashes of that, this person, that person. And afterwards, I got a chance to look at a little tape yesterday and last night, but I got to a little bit again this morning to look at some more tape. And the more and more I lay my eyes on this stuff, the better and better I feel about the situation that we're about to go into. I think this roster is strong, man. I think yesterday was a good indicator, and we had to find out. And I tell people all the time, no team, I don't care how good you are. I don't care how good that first 22 guys you have, offense, defense, the starters, care how good they are. You are no better than the depth you have on this roster. And that's the exhibition we got to see yesterday, was how good is the depth on this roster. And I'm telling you, I came away feeling better and better and better. The more and more I looked at the film, I'm telling you, there's a lot to like. There's a lot to like. And now today I'm going to highlight a handful of guys to talk about, but by no means is it the only guys that we need to be talking about today on this broadcast. No, I'm talking about in between today, this show, and Wednesday's show, we'll get to a whole lot more of the guys that we need to pay attention to. But I grabbed a bucket full of guys, not a bucket full, but a handful of guys that I wanted to point out today and talk about, man, because these guys were stellar on tape. You know what I mean? There were times there were none of them that were perfect, but there were a lot of guys, man, that really, really played yesterday and really stuck out to me. And let's just jump right on into it, man, because some of them are pretty obvious. We talked about, if you were here on the show yesterday, then you know how I felt about certain players, because I actually called out this first one as a pick, as one of those guys that I felt like, all right, somebody asked me in the show, hey, no matter who do you think is going to be the standouts on offense and defense? And, my standout on offense was, I believe, Ian Wheeler. I think it was Ian Wheeler. That didn't go quite. He played well now. He played well. He's one of those guys that I want to talk about a little later on, but because he did play well. But on defense, I definitely felt like, just given the information I've been receiving, some of the stuff I saw on film, some of the videos that you've seen out there, I felt like Noah Sewell was having a great camp. I felt like Noah Sewell, just given the fact that this defensive coordinator that we have, he's just a better fit for Noah Sewell's talents. You saw Noah Sewell going downhill so often yesterday that it's just like, why didn't, you start asking yourself, why didn't the other coach realize that this is the kind of football player you want to have going downfield and thumping? And that's exactly what he was doing yesterday. There was times you saw him in coverages and cover 3, cover 2. You've seen a few. That's just preseason stuff, but more times than not, I'm telling you guys right now, you'll see Noah Sewell getting downhill and thumping. One of the good things that I noticed yesterday was the fact that he was playing Mike linebacker. Okay, what does that mean? What's the difference between a Mike linebacker and a Sam linebacker? So Noah Sewell's been taking pretty much all camp. There hasn't been a guy in front of him taking the Sam linebacker reps. But lo and behold, little did we know, and thanks to, I think it was Herb Howard or one of the reporters that reported out, they've been mixing him in getting Mike linebacker reps, because you can't just play Sam linebacker and stay on the team and keep a roster spot. You need to be able to go in and play multiple positions. And so to see him out there being the quarterback of the defense, running it well, shifting the line of scrimmage, making sure guys were in their right spots, that was a Noah Sewell that we haven't had a chance to see so far since we've gotten that guy. Yeah, he's in there and he's out of there, here and there in camp and here and there in a game or two. But more times than not, you see Noah Sewell on the sidelines, not doing a whole lot of anything. And so basically, we didn't get the usage out of Noah Sewell like we could have, given the defensive scheme that we have. For whatever reason, he did not fit well in a zone scheme. He just didn't. In this scheme, he gets to play with his instincts a lot more, and you see him being fast. He's not thinking out there. He's getting to the ball. And so it was beautiful to see. It was really beautiful to see. Let me get in the chat right quick, see who's saying what. Shout out to the King, first one up in here today, man. Shout out to Crimson, second up in here. Speed, yes, sir. The difference is speed. He's playing fast. You see this, you see the difference in him, man. I can't tell you how many times I was privately watching games by myself after doing the broadcast or show, and I'm watching the all 22, and I don't know how other people watch film, but when I look at it, I can see the guys who are out there thinking. I can see guys who are out there just a step slower than they should be because they're out there thinking. I'll tell you a couple of other people, like Dominique Robinson was definitely one. There was times when I saw Zach Pickens being another, Austin Booker being another. There's just guys, some guys out there when they have to slow down and think, you're gonna miss that twitch that you naturally have. Noah Sewell has natural twitch. He has natural twitch to him, and he's got great football instinct. And so that was apparent with all of his Oregon tape. Everything that I saw, it was obvious to me. This guy is going to be a guy that you can definitely send on quarterback blitzes. That was one of the things that stood out. He's a great pass rusher. But his twitch and football IQ, man, his FBI is off the chain. And he's physical. And so he was very impressive. I'm still not done looking at the tape. I was mostly, I was mostly focused on the trenches since the last time you guys heard from me. I've been mostly focused on the trenches, but while you're watching that kind of stuff, there's going to be other stuff that sticks out. And so I wanted to point out a handful of guys that really, really stuck out so far with the tape I'm looking at. And so Noah Sewell definitely one. Here's another. Ryan Bates. It's a lot of BS talk about Ryan Bates. As a matter of fact, my guy FFG, I don't know if he's watching this, but we had a nice little go around the last time he was on the show because I brought up Ryan Bates and I was just telling them, like, man, this guy is a high level swing guard, swing center, even tackle if you need him to be. He's just a high level football player, and we're blessed to have this guy. And like typical Bears fans, FFG just, oh man, he ain't worth nothing. Why are we gonna pay him? Why are we paying him money? He's never on the field. I'm like, dude, it's football. It's football. At the end of the day, yeah, he's not Nate Davis. He's not Nate Davis. And I know people have a bad taste in their mouth by some of the acquisitions that Ryan Poles has made over the last couple of years. I get it. But the point I was trying to make is when that guy's healthy and he seems healthy, he looks really good out there. We've got an elite swing guard, swing center, swing possibly tackle to get you out of a game. He's elite. He's better than a lot of I don't know very many offensive linemen that can fan out to any one of these positions and get you out of a game. We are lucky to have Ryan Bates, and he looked the part yesterday. I'm just saying, he just really did. Let me jump in the chat, see who's saying what. Shout out to Bear Truth 9 that just busted up in this piece. Let me see here. Yes, Hippolyte, you know what, Bear Truth 9? What's funny about Hippolyte was early, I think it was in the first quarter. Think about the first quarter and a half. It's like, he's swimming out there, man. He's not in position a few times, missing tackles here and there, over pursuit. We've seen a lot of that. And I'll just say this, Bear Truth 9. Think he was swimming a little bit, but some of it is also just getting a little too amped up. And anybody that's played enough football can tell you, you can overthink stuff and just really get yourself, your intensity could rise to a level and you want to perform so well that you're basically shooting yourself in the foot sometimes. And so that's the, even looking at it on film again, that's kind of the feeling I came away with. Like he was just a little too amped up, a little too excited. And once he calmed down, you start to see the player that you thought he was. You know, he was in position, making plays, fast to the ball, not overrunning stuff. But yeah, that's a guy I wanted to talk about, but we'll get into him a little bit later. But back to, let me get to this chat right quick. Crimson says, I don't think he's starting caliber, but I don't mind having better than average backup. I think he can start at guard anytime, anywhere, almost any team. Now, I mean, do you prefer him to be a starter at this point in his career? Probably not. You're probably right about that. But as a backup, having him as a replacement, knowing that you got this piece sitting there, I feel really, really good. This is well done by Ryan Poles. Even though we didn't get the best out of this cat for the last couple of years, I think we're in position to, he's going to be a key pivotal piece on this, in this depth. Just telling you. Let me see. Yep, I hear you, Crimson. He said at the bare minimum, it softens the effects of the rotation. That's a great way to put it. You don't have to, you'll sleep good knowing that you have Ryan Bates. And another guy that I didn't do a graphic for was Luke Newman, that I'll be talking a whole lot more about him probably on some extra sauce on Wednesday. Luke Newman looked damn near veteran-like in his play. When you watch it on film, Luke Newman looked really good. Really, really good. Shout out to Liberty's Outlook. Let me see. Bear Truth 9 says, yeah, I saw some misplays, but I saw him attacking better yesterday than he did in college. He's talking about Ruben Hippolyte. Yeah, I think he just needed to get the jitters out, man. It's just like them coffee jitters like I got right now, man. Drinking too much coffee sometimes before doing the show. You got to calm your ass down. That's all it was to me, Bear Truth 9, was just him needing to calm down. Let me see. King Booker says, I remember you were one of the first to mention Austin Booker, and you said to keep an eye on it. Yeah, man. We're gonna get into him in just a second, man, because he was good on tape too, man. Hey, shut up, Don, man. You talk too much, man. You know, if this was y'all, you'd be talking about the same stuff. I'm just in here talking about, what I was looking for was the exhibition of the depth. There ain't no team just like Detroit, man. That team ain't no more better than that depth, man. If they second and third units ain't good, Detroit gonna struggle. And so the same thing, I'm saying the same thing right here. We will struggle. We would have struggled if I think they put this roster together pretty good, man. I think I like this, man. Let me see. Bear Truth 9 says, I did see some swimming for sure. And at first I thought he wasn't doing that good, but when I rewatched, I was actually impressed and saw the guy attacking instead of reacting like Edmonds. And I see you're gonna eat crow, Bear Truth 9, because Edmonds ain't the same Edmonds as he was last year and the year before that. He's just not. And that's just not how they're gonna play him in this defense. You'll feel different about him as we move forward too. Crimson says, I'm hoping Newman can be developed as a future starting center. I'm not hearing outside of OTAs, Crimson. I haven't heard about him taking center reps outside of that period in the offseason. So, like, since they got the veterans to camp, they put on pads, I haven't heard one take of anybody seeing Luke Newman at center. And maybe they're just trying to make sure they can shore him up at guard on both spots before they start giving him those reps. It could be coming, you know what I'm saying? But as of now, I don't see it, haven't heard it. Let me see. All right. So Ryan Bates, again, man, I think the communication between he and the quarterback was flawless yesterday. I think I heard Tyson Bagent speak to that, picking up assignments, making sure he was there for the guys next to him, each guard on each side. I mean, I just say they perform better with Ryan Bates being there. It was times that I seen him helping on different guys that either Luke Newman or what's his name, Chris Glazer. I think I remember some reps with him. He started to compensate a little bit or overcompensate a little bit, having Chris Glazer to his right. And that didn't look good, man. I'm not going to totally throw Chris Glazer under the bus. I'm not going to totally throw him under the bus, but that didn't look like NFL capable yesterday. So he's gonna have he's got a hill to climb. I would just say that. But Ryan Bates being out there with him made it not be so bad, even though it was terrible. He made it not be so bad because he just experienced like that. You see the chat. Bear Truth Now says Newman had really bad snap issues in practice. I think he's saying so far. Oh yeah, King. Stromberg did play. I wanted to highlight him, man, but I was running out of time. Yes, we're gonna talk about him a whole lot more. Stromberg was moving people. It was times when I saw him and I think it was either him, it was a combination of him and Ryan Bates next to each other. Not Ryan Bates, but it's a combination of him and Luke Newman that stuck out to me. And I think him and Jordan McFadden, there was some stuff I seen on tape between those, that center and both of those guards that they would look really good. They were just absolutely, some of those runs you saw, like Ian Wheeler get. There was a run or two from what's his name, number 21. There was a run or two from a couple of guys that those two guys opened up, man. So I'm telling you right now, Ricky Stromberg is strong out there, and let's just see if he can stack another preseason game or two on top of that and make them feel comfortable about that third center. I don't think I saw Doug Kramer out there at all yesterday. But yeah, again, Ryan Bates, impressive out there yesterday. Straight impressive. Let me get to another guy right quick. Josh Blackwell. No maniacs. Super no maniacs. Let me tell you something. Josh Blackwell is a starting nickel cornerback on almost any team in the league right now. I don't give a damn what team you bring up. He might be as good or better than any starting cornerback out there. We got two starting level nickel cornerbacks on this team as of right now. Josh Blackwell is a piece. We've been knowing this though. It's not a surprise to anybody. At least if you've been watching and paying attention to the games or even watching some of these podcasts, you know damn well what we have in Josh Blackwell. It should be no doubt in anybody's mind why this guy keeps getting, put it back on. I think he even got a contract extension recently. I think they gave him a little bit more money and he deserves it. Josh Blackwell is a dog. Not only that, he brings other value to the team. He could be your punt returner. He could be your kick returner. Special teams value. Josh Blackwell is worth his weight in gold. Again, we are talking about the depth, and what stood out to me, that was the test for me, was to find out how good this bench is going to be. And I'm telling you, we got some pieces out there. Josh Blackwell played to the standard that he always plays with, and even better, man. I'm telling you, he's good out there. Let me jump in the chat real quick. Rocket Dream says Doug Kramer was out there at the end of the game. Funny, I'm happy. I'm going back to the tape and looking at some more. I'll check it out, but I did not notice him out there for sure. Bear Truth 9 says, yeah, the stock up on Newman for sure. Yes, nice and aggressive. Yeah, I remember that. I just got through watching that, some of the highlights, Rocket Dreams, where he got juked out there when this is towards the end of the game. He just basically overran, was a little too fast on that play, but 9 times out of 10, Blackwell is a pretty reliable tackler in open field, man. He just didn't get that one, But yeah, man, he was very, very, very impressive out there. Josh Blackwell is like, I get to thinking about what Dennis Allen does and how dynamic he needs the nickel cornerback position to be. And he's going to use him. He's going to use them in so many different, there's going to be times when they even line them up on tight ends. They got to guard tight ends. You feel good with this player's agility. He's as agile and he's faster, as a matter of fact, than Kyler Gordon. Foot speed, he's faster. Now, agile, I just say I give Kyler Gordon an edge there because Kyler is just different like that. But he is damn near as agile as Kyler Gordon. I'm telling you guys right now, we are blessed in abundance to have Josh Blackwell as the second nickel cornerback on this team. He's that good. Y'all know I'm a cornerback. Y'all know I know this shit. I'm telling you, we are blessed in abundance to have these two guys. And I even think Nick McLeod, when he gets back out there, who I think might have been a scratch yesterday because of something. I don't know what the deal was with him, but even having Nick McLeod as a third guy, man, we are telling you that DB room looks good, at least at the cornerback position. We're still waiting to see about the safeties. We're gonna still see. We got another couple of games to find more out about that. But I'm telling you, Josh Blackwell is a piece to have. I don't know how long we're gonna be able to keep him because he should be a starter somewhere. But at least for this year, we got two dynamic nickel cornerbacks that we can use. Josh Blackwell is as good, damn near, as Kyler Gordon. People might want to argue about that, but I do believe that. I just look at the play and I look at basically the measurements and things I can measure. And you put that to the side and you just compare them. By contrast, they're very similar, and so we're just lucky that way. Let me see here. I think Blackwell's a little more twitchy, huh? I can argue that with you, and I can agree with you on that too. At the same time, I think they're equals when it comes to twitch. And I think Kyler's got maybe a little bit more agility, maybe a little bit more, but we can argue about that. All right, let's get to another guy that stood out to me. No, I'm gonna save this for last. I'm gonna give you the obvious. Austin Booker, of course, everybody kind of gave him the MVP of the game, but Austin Booker, again, man, I think the team, the fans and the reporters have to be patient, especially with some of these players, and also consider and give context to the fact that the scheme that he played in, the kind of coaching, the kind of guys that were in his ear, and sometimes that's a difference. It's a big difference. If you got coaches that are constantly in practice with you, working on this move, working on that move, and you got like 5 different things that you coming out early before the actual practice and you're working on. You got 5 things, you got 5 moves, you ain't got one, in my opinion. If you got 5 moves you're dealing with, you ain't got one good one. And I can tell you and feel like I'm giving it to you with 100% accuracy. Austin Booker was one of those guys that was doing too much last year instead of focusing on one move and a counter, which to me, that's the smart way to go with any rookie football player. You go with you focus on one move and a counter. Make sure that's strong, and the counter to it is strong. I saw every last bit of it yesterday out of Austin Booker. I saw the power and the counter to the power, the spin move. We all saw that during the game. The power was so overwhelming to that tackle out there. And remember, he was playing against starting offensive tackles out there. And so it's not like it's not going to translate come regular season. Those were starting tackles out there that he was doing some of that stuff too. So I don't want to hear anything about, they were 2, 3, level 4. I don't want to hear all that. This guy is going to be a piece, and I told you all he was going to be a piece. And I said this also, and I said that King Booker just mentioned it a few minutes ago. There's a reason why they didn't go. They felt like they didn't need to reach for an edge rusher in the draft, and I think you're looking at it on the screen. I felt like Dennis Allen must have thought. This is post-draft. Now, I was sitting there scratching my head for a little while, just like everybody else was, who was expecting us to get one of these edge rushers in the first pick or two, and they didn't do it. And once it was over, everybody was kind of head scratching like myself. And I just started thinking about it. It made sense to me because we basically getting, I ain't going to say we're getting Austin Booker rookie season again, but you damn near are. You're damn near going to get, you got an extra draft pick in Austin Booker, in my opinion. This is the way I'm going to look at it. We just got an extra draft pick in Austin Booker. You just gave Dennis Allen another piece to use. You know what I mean? It's just, this guy, I'm telling you guys right now, I think Austin Booker is going to have a year. However many, I think he's going to be heavy in rotation. By the time it's all said and done, it might be somebody like Tano might be the first guy, in the rotation outside of Dio and Montez Sweat. He might be the first guy at the very beginning. But I think at some point, Austin Booker is going to earn those third edge rusher reps. I think he's going to get there, man. To this year, I think we're going to have a guy, and it's going to get down to the point at some point, don't know when, but it's going to be a conversation had about, okay, is he a better edge rusher than Dio Odingbo? I'm going that far with this. I'm going that far with this. I don't think Dio is a slouch whatsoever. But I'm telling you, Austin Booker has from what I've seen, he's got the potential to really come on strong this year and make a challenge for that third spot, man. I know he's going to be on the roster. We know he's going to be on the roster, but how much rotation does he get with Tano being here? I think he's going to be the third guy. But if Austin Booker continues to do this in the preseason, all he's doing is he's earning more. If he continues, which I assume he will, I saw nothing yesterday that's going to prevent me from saying he can't continue to do that. Austin Booker, I'm telling you, this is probably the reason why we didn't draft an edge rusher. And I can understand why from what I've seen on tape, and I'm still looking at it. Let me look at the chat a little bit. Rocket Dream says he probably could have had 4 sacks if he didn't over pursue it. Yeah, I seen that on film too. A little bit of over pursuit. He's got to settle down a little bit. There's some little nuances to his game that he has to iron out the kinks, man. His engine is so live. His engine is so live, man. He just got to bring it down just a little bit so he can be a little bit more under control. But that's like the only thing that I can think of. Just what you said, Rocket Dreams. Just bring it down a notch so you can get more control. So once you get close to the ball, you don't overrun it. You can calm down and kind of shift the gear down a little bit and make the play. Let me see here. He said Booker was Travis Gibson's replacement. Pretty much. Let me see. Crimson said, didn't they spend a 2025 draft pick on Booker? He said, I call that extra. That's the way I'm looking at it. Rocket Dreams thinks he needs 20 more pounds. Yeah, Demond, we got to get him on the field more. I think he's gonna, you can want to get on the field more than you getting on the field, but you can do one thing that can override everything. You can play your ass off and make them put you on the field. And so if he continues down the path that we see him on last year, I mean, right now, and there's a lot of people talking about, oh, he was like that in the preseason last year. He's not the same player he was last year. Quit comparing shit to last year. He's not the same player. He's got a lot more in his computer now than he ever had. And now he's got different players and different coaches in his ears. And I can tell it's just, Austin, you're long, you're strong, you're way more powerful than that 255 pounds might reveal. Use it. Don't fool around with all this other stuff, all these swim up. Just use your power and counter to it, whatever you feel comfortable with. And yesterday I saw his comfort zone, the spin inside. It was a spin inside and it was pretty. You guys got to go back and look at that rep in particular was so beautiful for me. I saw it live and I was just like, whoa. You watched the show yesterday, you heard me literally react to it that way. That was good. That shit that 7-8 year veterans haven't had that come off that clean. So Austin Booker, you better be paying attention to him in every preseason game and moving forward into the regular season and watching his reps, man. I think he's gonna get on that field more than we probably think. I don't know if it's gonna happen early, but Austin Booker is looking like one of them things, man. Just saying. Let me see. Got one more guy to talk about. I'm going to take my time with this, man, a little bit. I'm going to just start where we need to start at. Myself included. Now, I'm going to say this knowing that I've always said that Zach Pickens is entirely too talented not to work. Entirely too talented. He is, I'm telling you, Zach Pickens is extraordinary. There was a play on a third down to get off the field in the third quarter, as a matter of fact, when I was looking at the tape on him, and he got a 3-tech rep. Now, I want people to be reminded, Zach Pickens really didn't come out of the game yesterday. They was lacking depth at D tackle, and they asked Zach Pickens and also Jonathan Ford pretty much to play the entire game. And so, he's out there blowing wind. And so this is late in the third quarter. On a third down to get off the field, he put it in another gear. And I'm telling you guys, he got off that ball so fast. And that quarterback was just lucky that he got rid of that ball and Zach kind of pulled up at the end, but he beat the dog shit out of this guard and just really just left him. That's the Zach Pickens I saw at South Carolina. That's the Zach Pickens I know that's there. The Zach Pickens we've been looking at for the past couple of years in the Flus defense is a Zach Pickens, again, that thinks entirely too much. Entirely. He's thinking about technique shit instead of getting off the ball and being fast and being that athletic dancing bear that he is. This is a dancing bear. Nimble feet. I mean, some of the plays that I saw on film was incredible. That particular play in the third quarter on that third down, you have got to go. I might have to just cut that up and just show you guys. Even though he didn't end up getting a sack, you look at that play and you will say to yourself, damn, if he can bring that kind of get off to the line of scrimmage on a regular basis, and I saw it quite a few times yesterday. Quite a few times. This one just particularly stood out to me. If Zach Pickens continues to play under this new leadership on defense, whatever these coaches are teaching him and teaching him not to be thinking about, I think that might be more important than anything, teaching him what not to be thinking about. Stop thinking so goddamn much. Go out there and be physical, be fast. And another thing that stood out about Zach Pickens, one of the things that really, if you saw the Zach Pickens All 22 I did a few months ago, then you heard me harping about him not being able to shed blocks, getting people off of him. That was improved. He was getting people's hands off of him, being violent and aggressive about it too. And that was helping everything. The fact that he could, he couldn't beat a couple of combo blocks a few times. Not a lot of players can do that on a regular basis. But he'll even get to that level. What I think is going on with Zach Pickens more than the part that we're talking about with him thinking too much and being having coaches around him that are working on too many different things instead of having him be fast and physical and quick. It's more and less, man, I think the competition level around him. I don't think in Zach's life he's seen this level of competition around him. You got to think about it. First, you already had Dex here. You had Chris Williams here. Now you got Brady Jarrett. Now you got Dio Odingbo. Now you got Tano Passano. All of those guys can get 3 tech reps. All of them. He's never been around this level of talent in his career. And so his level has to be, he's got to reach. He's got to get there. In order for him to not only make the team, but to get reps, you got to outplay these guys. And the funny thing about it, and add Shamar Turner into that. Also add Shamar Turner into that. I almost forgot that. You got to beat all these guys out just to get on the team. Now you got to fight for reps. Zach Pickens, and this might sound like the most ridiculous thing I ever said on one of these podcasts. Zach Pickens, pound for pound, as far as the talent goes, might be more talented than them all. I'll say it again. Zach Pickens, pound for pound, as a 3 tech, might be more talented than them all. They just haven't gotten it out of them yet. And I'm starting to see with this new coordinator in here and this new D-line coach, I'm starting to see some of the Zach Pickens I thought was there the whole time. Now you bring in more talent, raise the level of talent, raise the level of competition. Now look at what you get. I'm telling you, whatever you saw in the game yesterday, even though he had a couple of bad plays, when you got through looking at the film, if you know what to look at, you came away very impressed by Zach Pickens. Just telling you. He was a treat to watch yesterday. And even though he played way too many reps, he was able to dig in and find whatever he needed in his motor to continue play late into the fourth quarter. It showed up the entire game. So I was extremely impressed with him. Let me look at some comments. Let me look. Don says Pickens is just a guy. Okay. Let's see about that. What's up, Derek Guy? Yeah, but out of all the stuff that I saw yesterday, outside of Noah Sewell, let me see. some guys that I probably need to be talking about right now. Noah Sewell. So the offensive line play was impressive, but Zach Pickens kept flashing to me. He looks different out there. You haven't heard a lot out of him. Reporters saying a whole lot about him in camp, and I was curious about that because I haven't gotten my eyes on the situation, so I've been curious about it. But what I saw on the field yesterday was really impressive, and he's going. And if he keeps stacking a performance like that onto the next performance, onto the next one, he's going to make a case for himself. I just don't see how Dennis Allen sees this. I mean, he had to be on Dennis Allen radar, on his radar coming out of South Carolina as a guy he would probably want. And he probably was pretty eager to get in here and find out what Zach Pickens has. What is the problem, man? Why is it that you're struggling? Why haven't you shown what kind of guy that we saw on film with you at South Carolina? And I'm pretty sure, I know these are NFL coaches. I'm not an NFL coach, but I can see. I trust my eyes. And I'm pretty sure Dennis Allen came to the conclusion, okay, you're just thinking too much. You just got to be more focused on your strengths. That's your speed, your quickness, and your twitch. You're nimble as shit, agile as shit. Use it. Attack that guy. Get off that ball fast and don't think about no techniques. Just do it. And be aggressive about it. Don't let people block you. If you're getting blocked, you're allowing yourself to be blocked. Don't allow it. Things like that. Just a different coach in his ear, you're going to see different results. And I'm telling you, he's impressive to watch on this all 22 so far. But let me check a couple more comments before I get ready to get out of here. Down in here hijacking my chat, man. You get your ass on somewhere. But I'm about to end the show, man. But overall, I just wanted to say thank everybody for being here, number one. But moving through the rest of the week, and I'm talking about we'll do the live joint practice. I think, when is that joint practice? I think it's freaking Friday or something. I don't know. But I'll probably go live depending on what time they do the practice. Tomorrow, I'll probably go live for practice and give you guys some updates as, blow by blow when they have the reporters out there. I'll probably do that tomorrow for you guys early. We'll see. Life happens, so I don't never want to promise anything, but I'll be looking to do that tomorrow morning when they go live. When the reporters get to practice, I'll give you guys an updated, version of what's going on out there so you guys will know live exactly what's happening. But again, man, Zach Pickens, extremely impressive out there, man. He's just one of those guys you got to pay close attention to in this preseason. Let's see if he can continue to stack them days like that. Let me get to a couple more comments before I get out of here. Quest for 6. First half, the D-line as a whole owned the line of scrimmage, especially on the goal line stand, short yardage situations. Got to give them their flowers early, but there's a long way to go. Arrow definitely pointing up. And I'm glad you're jumping up in here because that's kind of the stuff that I started the show with, talking about that. Just talking about how good that offensive line, just looking at the trenches, that's probably the best I can remember our depth in a long time. And I just really can't remember us having this kind of talent, in backup positions. The tackle spots are still to be determined. Theo Benedict looked much better as a right tackle in that preseason game than he did at left tackle. Left tackle, he was leaking a little bit. But I was very impressed by Luke Newman. Luke Newman on the time. It was a time when it's a couple plays I can see Luke Newman, waiting to help over on the left side when Theo Benedict over there is like he just knew that he might need help on his pass set, and he did over there a couple times. That's veteran stuff. So as impressed as I was with Theo Benedict at the right tackle, I was very impressed with Luke Newman and his game awareness, field awareness, situational awareness. Very impressed with it. For a rookie, it looked almost veteran-like. So I definitely got into that. Thank you for your comment, Quest for 6. But yeah, I definitely got into that at the very first part of the podcast. But yeah, man, you guys, look, we're gonna get into way more of this kind of stuff as the days go by until we get to this next joint practice. Gonna have a bunch of live shows. We're gonna be here Wednesday. I'll be doing this every day so long as they practice. And so, hey, you guys, this was cool. This was fun. It was way more guys that I wanted to talk about that we will talk about moving forward. Sorry that I didn't get to them all. It wasn't on purpose. It was just a couple of guys that I wanted to kind of point out and get started with this, this recap of what happened in that preseason game this week. But that's all I got for today. And I thank you guys for being here. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new to the channel. I tell people all the time, it's totally free to hit the subscribe button. That will not cost you a dime. So never fear. It's free to hit the subscribe button. Do that for me. Thank you in advance. And I got to leave you guys with these famous words. If you can think it and you can see it, there's no reason in the world why you cannot absolutely manifest it. Do not, and I repeat, do not be a prisoner of your own mind. But with that being said, I am